and konnichiwa, I'm Tomoko, your Japanese food ambassador. There are many requests for today's topic, koji, which is a national malt for Japan. Yes, you heard me right. Koji is a national malt for Japan, which is a good thing because koji makes delicious things. To explain about koji, I invited back fermentation expert Manami Auregan from Tokyo. She is a certified fermentation Meister, expert in koji, and then studied with the Japanese Fermentation Food Culture Association. She also created a line of healthy condiments called Atelier de Koji, which introduces Japanese fermentation through condiments that are familiar with Western people. Welcome back to my channel, Manami-san. Thank you so much. Koji is a mysterious thing. Many people have heard about it, and then it seems very important for Japanese culinary culture, but we don't really know what exactly koji is. So could you explain a little bit about koji?
So it is said that it was first used back in Nara in the 700s already for sake making. So people have, I would say, that just found it growing on the cooked rice, left in the kitchen maybe, and they have eaten it and then found it was good because it was fermented. And it must have started this way because, they live in the nature, such as, around the rice plants. So I have met this guy who owns a bakery called Culinary in Totori. What he does is that he naturally collects a koji mold, and he leaves this steamed rice in his kitchen, wait till the koji mold to, come down and then start growing, right? And then he would collect this koji mold and then make a yeast first. And then he uses this yeast to make bread. And I tasted it, it was very good. So there's this way of, using koji too. This is a very, ancient way, I would say. But people don't do that because, we have to have a very good condition, like air has to be very clean and so on. So what koji lover would do, like myself, is that we purchase koji spores. It's got koji mold in it, right? In a package like this, right? And then we would sprinkle this over a steamed rice. And there's this whole, 3 days process. You have to, humidify the place and, very good environment for koji mold to grow. And then after 3 days, you obtain koji itself. And this is the rice koji, for example, that you can obtain after 3 days of fermentation. Right. And so once you obtain it, then, it's got many enzymes to it. So it's good for fermenting condiments, for example. But to make this, it's, you have to have some technique too, right? So people can just buy this, either raw or dry in a store. So when it's dry, it's like this in a package. I don't know if you can find it in the States, the dry ones maybe. Yeah, raw ones you can find in the States?
Not raw one, something like that. Yeah, we can find it. I think they sell online as well as at the Japanese grocery stores.
Right. So when you want to make a condiment very powerful of enzymes, then you might want to use the raw ones.
Right now, people are like embracing shiokoji here. Restaurants are using and then write down on the menu that it's marinated in shiokoji, blah, blah, blah. It's like a buzzword. Could you tell us a little bit about shiokoji?
In Japan, it became kind of like a buzzword in 2011 when we had a disaster with great earthquake in Japan in east side. So when we have a disaster, what we do is that we we actually lack of electricity. We are lacking electricity, and we need to conserve food. And so, to conserve food, we need to have fermented condiment. So that's why they found the shiokoji, which was maybe invented a few years before the disaster, right? So it's not a traditional condiment, actually, shiokoji. It was invented recently, and it became popular in 2011 because of it.
And then you can make shiokoji? Because we just buy shiokoji from the store.
Right, so you can buy shiokoji in the store. So of course it's got nutrients, it's got umami and all you want to it. But it's, it can have very high sodium rate. For example, 80%, sometimes 20%. When the sodium rate is very high, the fermentation doesn't happen. So sometimes people would say, okay, shiokoji is very good for you. It tenderizes the meat. So I bought shiokoji from the store and I wanted to do that, but it didn't tenderize the food and it was still, chewy. Why? Of course, because it has a high, it's high in sodium, and also when it's commercialized, most of the shiokoji is sterilized. And when it's sterilized, what happened is that the enzymes are already, gone or dead. It's no more active. So you cannot expect the shiokoji that you buy in the store to be active, right? So when you want it to be very active, the enzymes, you want enzymes to, work, powerfully, then you make shiokoji on your own. It's very simple. So you have to have a key ratio in your head. So 4 water, 3 koji, and 1 salt. Right? So if you find, for example, in your drawer or in your store 300 grams of koji, in that case you would want to find 100 grams of salt and 400 milliliters of water. So what you do is that you put it in a container. It can be plastic or it can be, with glass, but you want to really sterilize it, right? You want to use a clean one. And you put them all together and you close it with a lid. And what you do is that every day you open it and you stir it. And if you want, you can talk to the enzymes and ask them to, to work well. And then, so you do it for 7 days. It's cold, for example, in winter. And maybe you can obtain shiokoji like very rich texture, liquid texture in maybe 3 or 4 days with summer. And once you obtain a good texture, then you put it in the fridge. So this way you can have your own shiokoji.
And then that actually works on like a tenderized meat.
Right. So the one you make at home, it has much enzymes to it. So like I said in the last episode, it has many enzymes to it. So one of it is the protease. The protease is the one that breaks the protein down into amino acids, which gives the umami taste to you, right? Or it breaks the starch down into glucose, right? So you have this, rich, sweet tasted food, right? So you can obtain all those enzymes in the shiokoji that you make yourself.
How long does it last in the fridge that if we make enzymes, shiokoji?
Right. So if you keep the ratio that I have told you about, so 4:3:1, that makes it around 14% of ratio of sodium, so sodium rate. So this way you can keep in the fridge for more than a year actually. If other bacteria doesn't get in. Yeah, so you can keep it in the fridge. So if you want, for example, you can put like a garlic to it, or you can put ginger to it. I have like several flavors of it.
Wow.
Right. Yeah. So you can enjoy that too.
That's really fun. I'm gonna try making that this week. Thank you so much, Manami-san. Really enjoyed your expertise. Hope people enjoyed about koji and then more familiar with them and then make shiokoji by themselves.
Okay, please enjoy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Manami-san. For more information about Manami's koji-based products, please check the link in the description. Let's make shiokoji. Remember the ratio that Manami taught us, water to koji to salt? It's 4:3:1. I also have some store-bought shiokoji. Let's make some dishes with that as well. First, shiokoji. Mix the salt and koji well and then add water. Make sure the container is sanitized, either by boiling it or wipe it with alcohol. Lightly close the lid and then keep at room temperature for a week or until the mix is a thick consistency. Make sure to mix it every day and then check on your shiokoji. If you see any mold, scoop it out and then wipe that part with alcohol. Alternatively, if you have a yogurt maker or sous vide machine, keep it at 140 Fahrenheit for overnight for a quick fermentation. This is yuzu shiokoji that my friend at Downtown LA Miso made. I'm making pickles with this, which is quick and easy. Cut up the cucumber and then daikon radish to bite-sized pieces. Mix them with yuzu shiokoji in a Ziploc bag or any airtight container. That's it. After overnight, it's ready to eat. This will be a great side dish for any Japanese meal, or if you want an extra crunch or umami to a sandwich, cut them small pieces before sliding them in between bread slices. This next one is fun. A Japanese-style caprese salad. Cut the mini tomatoes in half and then cut the mozzarella cheese into bite sizes. Then mix with shiokoji and an olive oil. Instead of basil, add shiso leaves on top. With black peppers and more olive oil. The amount of shiokoji to add should be approximately 10% of the volume of added tomatoes, but always taste the shiokoji first. As Manami explained, Manufactured koji tends to be saltier, so you'll use less. I added about 10% and then it was quite salty, but luckily olive oil helped to offset the saltiness. Thanks and then arigato for watching. Until next time. ではまた。